Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. You know, first and foremost, I want to give all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashemi, Hawashai. You know, this video going into Romans 10 and 12. I'm going to break down Romans 10 and 12. You know, some light, easy little breakdown. You know, the Christian church, the Christians, when you tell them that Yahweh, who the world called Jesus Christ, he come back only for the Israelites, they like to put Romans 10 and 12 and John 3:16. But I did a video on John 3:16 already if you want to look back at that. So they like to bring out Romans 10 and 12 to be like, oh, he coming for the Jews and the Greeks. He said there's no difference between the Jews and the Greeks. It's a piece up there. He said there's no difference between the Jew and the Greek. So they like to pull that out, try to say that he coming back for everybody, right? But you have to understand when they say for there's no difference between the Jew. We already know, if you don't know, you can understand that we the real Jews. The so-called Negro, we the real Jews. And those Jewish people over there in Jerusalem right now, in our homeland that's calling themselves Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, those Jewish people that rule the music industry and that rule Hollywood, they're not the real Jews. They're the synagogue of Satan, according to Revelations 2 and 9 and Revelation 3 and 9. The Bible tells you that those Jewish people are the synagogue of Satan. They're not the real Jews. We the real Jews according to the Bible. So it said, for there's no difference between the Jew and the Greek. So when it says is that there's no difference between the Jew and the Greek, right? You have to understand. You know how we know that the Greeks were white people, right? But you had Israelites that was calling themselves as Greeks. Just like with the word Gentile, right? It's two types of Gentiles. You have Gentiles that are non-Israelites, and you also have Gentiles that are Israelites but want to follow the heathen customs. So they'll be called Gentiles as well. Just like in America, you will have a lot of Gentiles because they want to follow the customs of America. So a lot of our people are Israelites, but they'll be called Gentiles as well because they want to follow the customs of America. Just like at these colleges, you have these sororities and fraternities. They call themselves Greeks, right? But they're not really Greeks. We know they're really Israelites, but they call themselves Greeks because they follow the customs of the Greeks. You know, so they'll be called Gentiles as well. So when it says, for there is no difference between the Jew and the Greek, for the same Lord over all is rich upon all that call upon him. He's talking about the Greeks. He's talking about those Israelites that want to follow the customs of the Greeks, because they were also called Greeks and Gentiles because they want to follow the customs of the Greeks. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm finna get a verse to prove to you that you had Israelites that were called Gentiles. 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles. He's saying that ye were Gentiles. So we know it's talking about those Israelites that were called Gentiles because they say they were Gentiles. They're not Gentiles anymore. They were Gentiles because they want to follow the custom of these other nations. Ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. So they want to follow these idols, the same idols that these other nations were worshiping. Our people, some of our people want to worship those same idols, so they were called Gentiles as well. You feel what I'm saying? So so people that are non-Israelites, they not just called Gentiles. You know, you had Israelites that were called Gentiles as well, but you have to figure out who is he talking about when he talking about the Gentiles. Is he talking about the non-Israelites, or he's talking about the Israelites that was following the customs of the other nations? So let me so when in Romans 2 and 9 through 10, when it says tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doth evil, of the Jew first and also of the Gentile, but glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jews first and also of the Gentiles. So when it says the Jew first, it's talking about us. We know that we're the Jews. You feel what I'm saying? We keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Then it's talking about the Gentiles second, which are those Israelites that's following these other nation customs. You know that don't really want to call themselves Jews and Israelites. They want to call themselves Greeks and Romans. Those are the Gentiles that are Israelites. So I had to break that down real quick so you understand. So first off, you have to figure out who is Paul writing this letter to, because whoever Paul writing this letter to, this is who it's for. But people just skip the Romans 10. People just skip the Romans 10 and 12. They don't go to Romans 1 and 7 when they're telling you who is Paul writing the letter to. You know, they just go straight to Romans 10 and 12. So let me get, who is Paul writing the letter to? So I got Romans 1:7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints. So whoever in Rome called to be saints, this is who Paul writing this letter to. You know, we scattered. You know what I'm saying? We scattered. That's one of the curses, that we'll be scattered among all the nations. You know, I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's wrong. I mean, that's Deuteronomy 28:43. If I'm not mistaken, that we'll be scattered among all the nations. Let me make sure that's right. Deuteronomy 28:43. Let me make sure that's right. I don't want to say nothing wrong. I think that's right though. He said we'll be scattered among the heathen, these other nations. Because we are scattered. You feel what I'm saying? We everywhere. Everywhere you go, you're gonna find a so-called black person. Whether you go to China, Japan, the UK, Jamaica, Asia, all the other places, you're gonna find us, bro. We everywhere. We scattered. So let me make sure that was the right verse. Romans. No, that wasn't. It was Deuteronomy 28:64. When he said he's gonna scatter us among all the people. That's Deuteronomy 28:64. So just like back then, just like now, we scattered among all the people. We everywhere. So that's why he writing this letter to that's why he writing this letter to Rome, because we had our people that was in Rome. You feel what I'm saying? Because we scattered. So it says, all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints. So whoever called to be saints, this is who you writing the letter to. This is who Paul writing the letter to, the people that are called to be saints. So who called to be saints, right? That's what you should be thinking about, trying to figure out. Who is called to be saints? Now you go to Psalms 50:5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So the saints are the people, the saints are the people that made a covenant with him by sacrifice. So who made a covenant with him by sacrifice, right? Romans 9:4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertains the adoption and the glory and the covenants. And the covenants, new and old, the covenants. And the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. So he writing this letter to the Israelites that are in Rome. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to understand that. You have to understand that. Just like John 3:16, when he said God so loved the world, he talking about the Israelites according to Isaiah 45:17. That's why you have to read precept upon precept, line upon line. That's how you're supposed to read. You know, that way you just can't pick out one verse and then try to be like, oh, that's what it's talking about. No, you have to read precept upon precept and line upon line to get understanding. I'm gonna get this too. Romans 9:6. Not as though the word of God has. Let me see. Before I get there, let me see if I want to get the whole thing first. I get Romans 9:6. Romans 9:6. Not as though the word of God had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So he said, they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So that's going back into there's no difference between the Jew and the Greek. Because you had some Greeks, you had the Greeks, they are Israelites. They are Israelites, but at the same time, they not Israelites because they're not following the Israelite customs, which keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. So that's why he say they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. Just like they say it's a saying say every dang what that saying say every skin folk, not kinfolk. That's just like with this when it says for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel, because we know they Israelites, so-called black people, right? But at the same time they not, because they not really with you. You feel what I'm saying? They're not really following. They're not really who they say they is. They following these other nations, these other customs. So they really wouldn't be your kinfolk. You have some of them that want to be coons. They want to follow the white man. So they the same skin color as you. They really Israelites, but at the same time they not, because they want to follow the other nations and the white people. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why he said that, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. You get what I'm saying? So no difference between the Jew and the Greek. It's talking about, it's no difference between us, because we're the same people. We the same people because he's talking about those Greeks over there that are Israelites. That's why he said there's no difference between the Jew and the Greek, because we the same people. We got the same God, but it's just one of them want to follow the other nations and eat pork and want to worship these other idols. You got the other one that want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments and worship the Most High, the Bible. So that's really what it's talking about. That's really Romans 10 and 12 breakdown. You feel what I'm saying? So, quick, easy breakdown. See, it wasn't nothing. It was some light. You feel what I'm talking about? It wasn't nothing hard about that. You just have to understand. You have to read precept upon precept, line upon line. And that's something these pastors don't do. These pastors don't read precept upon precept. Hell, I don't even think they read the Bible, period. I don't even think they read it, period. You feel what I'm saying? They're not telling you this stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to read precept upon precept, line upon line to get understanding. So I want to give all praise to the Most High, Yahweh by Shemi Hawashah, and I say shalom.